time for the Loco Sports Lowdown. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and Max Araj.
Hey, Loco Sports fans, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr with you at the outset, and Max will be joining in progress a little bit later on. Welcome to the Loco Sports Lowdown on Wednesday night. It's November 13th, if you're keeping track at home. And we don't have a ton to talk about this week, other than what we've already talked about a good bit. But fortunately, we do have a guest who will add insight into the biggest story going on in Loco Sports right now, because we've got May River coach Morgan Hedrick from the girls volleyball team coming on tonight to talk with us after her team won last night at Aiken to go on to the state championship against PIckens on Saturday. Coach Hedrick, we'll pop her in here in just a minute and get to know more about her story, how she got here, and how she got the Sharks all the way to the state championship match for the first time. So looking forward to that. When Max gets on, I'm sure we'll talk a little football again and talk about whatever else is going on. There were some signing days today. May River had signing day. A bunch of kids signed. Beaufort had a couple. There were a bunch all over the place. So we'll round up as much of that as we can a little bit later in the show as well. The Loco Sports Lowdown brought to you by Mickelson Law Firm, our original sponsor, our all-star sponsor, and our official real estate closing attorney, as well as the presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. Mickelson Law Firm, right in downtown Bluffton. They can help you with all your legal needs, and they've been with us since the beginning, since 2017. We really appreciate their support in helping us grow Loco Sports and shine a light on deserving teams and student athletes like the May River Sharks, who are headed to that state championship match. And we've got Coach Morgan Hedrick joining us on the show tonight. What's going on, Coach? Looks like you're on mute still. No worries.
There we go.
I did it earlier. I was talking to Wes and he couldn't hear me earlier before we went live. But welcome, Coach, and overdue welcome to the Low Country. I know you're in year 2 at May River now, right?
This is my 4th year with May River.
As the head coach?
No, as the head coach, my 3rd.
Oh, okay. I lost track of somebody at some point then. So 3 years in the Low Country now, or 4 years here. 3 as the head coach at May River. And you guys had you came in and there was a solid foundation, but you have definitely taken the program to another level. And this group of girls has really been special to watch this year, watching them grow over the course of the season. I mean, could you have imagined going into the season? I know you tell yourself state championship or bust going into the season, but most of the time you're kind of trying to convince yourself. Could you have seen this coming?
I did, actually. I knew.
Yeah?
So I've been with this team since they came in as freshmen. I was the JV coach my very first year at May River. And when they came in, I thought, well, if we could pull it together, we will have a state contender team. And going into this year, my husband said, do you think that you can go all the way to state? And I said, I think we can. Like, I think if we really gel and get it together, I think this team is fully capable of going to state. And about halfway through the season, it clicked, and here we are. So this is a very special team, and I'm very proud of them.
How about that? What a story. I mean, you're going back to the beginning of the year and having that talk, and then lo and behold, here you are going up against Eastside for the right to be named for a state champions in the state of South Carolina. You kind of alluded to my next question. You're talking about, I kind of knew started when it clicked midway through the year. We found our groove. We got on a roll. Just tell me about that time midway through this season when things really started to figure themselves out for this team and they really started to get on the roll and eventually carry it into the playoffs.
Yeah. So before season started, we sat down as a team and we talked about what our goals were for the year. And of course, everybody's goal is always to go the whole way, right? Go all the way to the big
win it all.
Yes.
Right.
And so of course that was everyone's goal prior to season starting. And we talked very realistically and said, here's what we're going to have to do to get there. And we had a very solid core group of girls that had played together for several years and gelled really well. But when we introduced a few new members, it took a minute to catch that groove. And really the team started to come together and become more of a family than they were a team about halfway through the season. And you could really see that shift where they stopped playing for each other and they stopped playing for this mythical goal that we set and they started playing for each other as a whole. They weren't playing for themselves anymore. It was playing for the person next to them and the person next to them. And it was very, very special to watch them make that shift and really go from team to family. So,
and I think it started when you guys knocked off Bishop England at home on October the 3rd. And after that, obviously, you had some close matches throughout the rest of the way. But it seemed like that was when you really turned the corner. So how important was that to get that first win over the Battling Bishops to really help gain the confidence and the mojo of this team that we can do it? We can go up against anybody in the state, and then some close matchups, a tough one against Hilton Head, but after that, you have ran the table. So yeah, so I mean, just talk about the latter half of the season, the end of region play, and about how you were able to overcome that Bishop England hurdle, and then from there, despite that loss to Hilton Head, stay the course and produce when it really matters in the playoffs.
Yeah, so Bishop England, they have a great team. I mean, they are very, very talented, and we all knew it coming into the region. So everybody was a little intimidated by Bishop England, especially after we saw them the first time at Bishop England and lost in 4. I think going into that next matchup, the girls, they've got me and my assistant coach behind them going, we can do this. We can do this. And I think that they had some doubts for sure. And then as we gained momentum in that game, you could really see it shift to like, oh, well, we can do this. We are doing this. And once we got that role, it definitely clicked for the team that we are a really talented team. And if we focus on one point at a time, every team is beatable, even the ones we're intimidated by. And we learned a tough lesson that next game against Hilton Head, because we went into that thinking that we were on top of the world, and every team is beatable, us included. So that was a humbling experience, but I think ultimately it was really, really good for us to learn that lesson. And then really we took that and just rolled with it into every matchup we had from that point forward, that we are a very talented team. We have to stay humble. We can't get ahead of ourselves, and we need to play point for point. And that's how we've played the latter half of the season. We're not looking at games. We're certainly not looking at the next game. We're looking at the next point and the next play. And that's kept us really focused on what we need to do in that moment. And it's been very successful for us.
I've been impressed with their resilience. I'm sure as a coach, they're driving you crazy losing the first set all the time, but their resilience every time to just be unfazed by it. Or against South Aiken, it was the second set where they just kind of let the wheels come off. But it was like they realized this set's over. They checked out, kind of played out the string in that set, and then clicked right back in. So I've been impressed with their ability to do that, and I'm sure that's something that had to be trained over the course of the season.
So for whatever reason, we love to just absolutely blow it for a set. Like, I don't have an
explanation. Take a nap. You just got to take a nap for a set. Rest up for the next one.
And we just check out for a set, and you never are quite sure which one it's going to be until you're in it. And you're like, well, this one's it. Like, so
you'll remind
me. Oh,
it's
our bad set. Okay.
Right. Okay.
You'll remind me of Bryce Lappin used to stop the other team 14-0 or so when they won that state title in football a couple of years ago, and they found a way to come back and rally.
That's true.
Kind of similar mentality, but
go
through that incredible match that we were able to witness last night against Aiken. I mean, just a tremendous performance, especially after dropping that first set where Aiken was much in control, but you guys turned the page quickly and showed why you are capable of beating anybody in this state. So, take me through that match, how you guys responded, and then how you held on in some key moments in that third and the fourth set to close it out.
Yeah. So we went into that game never having played Aiken. I mean, I think we went up against them very, very early in the preseason, and that was the only experience that we had with them. And so not having a lot of background knowledge on them, and being a much higher stakes game, I think we went into that first set very jittery. We were certainly nervous, and Aiken fans, they're amazing. They were loud. So I think the noise certainly shook us at first too. And then once we kind of settled down after that first set and said, okay, well, now we're used to it. It's time to go to work. The girls did a very, very good job of doing what they needed to do and leaning on each other when, you know, we would drop a few points and whatever. We didn't spiral. They did a good job of leaning on each other and trusting each other to do what they needed to do to get it back into our favor. And they rode that all the way through the fourth set. So they're very, very talented, and they trust each other. And I think that is a big advantage that we have over some other teams that don't necessarily gel as well.
Yeah, no, it's been impressive. And you've got a really deep rotation too. I mean, it doesn't seem like you ever really drop off, depending, no matter who's in the rotation. Your libero's been terrific. Mia's just phenomenal, whatever you need her to do. I mean, I was blown away. I took my daughter to the South Aiken game, and I told her last night, I was like, honey, they're going to the state championship. She was excited. But no, really fun team to watch, and has to be fun to coach this group. Girls are a blast. So, what are some favorite memories from this season? Maybe even something that happened off the court. Some road trip memories.
Oh man. Well, we went up to a preseason tournament, and we took a series of Suburbans to get there. And our assistant coach is a terrifying driver, apparently. So there were a lot of like SOS messages sent between cars. But it was really good to be able to get out of our area and go up to Rock Hill and just away from the normal sleeping arrangements and the parents and the girls, just have them be themselves. And teenage girls are a mess. They're a mess, but in the best possible way. Yeah. Like, they're very complex. But this group of girls is they're very mature and humble, and we have a common goal, and everybody supports that goal, whether it's a leading role in getting there or a supporting role. Everyone knows that their presence serves a purpose. And in doing that, they're so close and constantly together and always up to antics. And they're a full-time job.
They're crafty. They are crafty.
No doubt. And you mentioned earlier about you being around this team for a couple of years, and these, underclassmen becoming upperclassmen and have become veterans of this team. So, describe to me how these players around this group have grown and handled the responsibilities of what it means to be leaders and, players who set an example for your program. So just tell me about how these girls have matured and grown on the court and off the court.
They were such babies when they came in 4 years ago. They were all about like a foot shorter, I feel like. And just, they went from being insecure freshmen to seeing what needs to be done and doing what it takes to get there. Yep. Inside, during high school season, inside the gym, they're doing what they need to do during club season. They're attending camps. They're going independently to the gym and lifting on their own time. And, this is what will help the team. So I'm going to do it in my own time, and I'm going to make it a priority. And having the team collectively buy into that mentality, not just one or two players, has been monumental in this team's success. Lauren Swanson and Mia Gruner are our two senior captains this year. And they are two players that absolutely embody that mentality. Mm-hmm. They are doing the work outside of practice. They're doing the work when it's hard and when they don't feel like it. And they're maintaining that level of play and competitiveness and integrity that we want the whole team to exhibit. And they're doing it by example. And that has been huge, huge.
It's a beautiful thing. I mean, you just described the job of coaching when done well, though. You showed them the path, and then you let the leaders take off running and lead the way for the rest, and they followed. And that's how it's supposed to work. So congrats to you, Coach, for getting that buy-in, for identifying your leaders who were going to show the way and then letting them lead. That's an awesome thing. I want to hear a little bit more about your background. I suspect I sense a little northern accent there, or Midwestern or something. So tell us about your background on the sport and how you got here.
So we're actually from Colorado.
Okay.
My husband and I are both from Colorado. And I played, granted, this was, I'll show my age here, but 20 years ago, played high school and club in Colorado, and then went on to play college, actually here in South Carolina. And then dabbled in the beach circuit for a little bit after that. I had some serious injuries with knees and shoulders and whatnot. And so my career kind of right, as one does in this sport, got kind of derailed and turned around several times as far as where it was going to go. And we settled down, spent a little bit of time in Missouri, and I didn't do any coaching in Missouri. We have 3 little kids. And so it just wasn't in the cards for us to be able to do that. And then once we moved here, I told my husband, I said, all right, the kids are getting a little older. They're a little more independent. I want to get back into coaching. And May River had an opening at that time. And I came in as a JV coach, and Aaron Johnson was the head coach at the time. And he's amazing. And the rest is history. We just kind of took that program and I modeled it very closely after my high school program from a million years ago. I had an amazing high school coach, and even 20 years later, I still talk to him and ask him questions. And he is a huge resource of mine. And if I can be a quarter of the coach that he was, I will be satisfied with that. So
how awesome is it to have a guy like him in your corner when you have needed advice, when you have needed support? That has got to have meant especially when you were starting at this program, and then now a couple of years later, you're playing the state championship match. So, just tell me about the people in your corner who have, including the coach or you coach you just mentioned, that have helped to grow your skills to the level that they are now.
So he was instrumental in the player that I became, the coach I became, and of course, we all have coaches, right? That we model after them, we model opposite of them, and you learn something along the way from each one of them. But he has been massive. Whenever I have any questions, any issue, and I go to him and go, how do I handle this? He's very honest. He's very realistic. And he has a way of phrasing it to where I'm like, that makes total sense. You're absolutely right. He's been amazing. We have an awesome admin staff at May River. So our athletic director is wonderful and very, very supportive. Our parents, coaches always say the parents are the worst part, not ours. Our parents are wonderful. They are so supportive, so helpful, so ready to jump in. They'll shuttle girls to games. They provide team meals. They will do anything that they can to help us be successful and have one less thing to worry about. Having all of those people along with a really good coaching staff, my assistant coach and my JV coach are the opposite of me. They're loud and they're bubbly and they're funny and they're like a comedic sideshow, but they keep everyone grounded. You know what I mean? They help soften situations, and that plus their knowledge of the game, they're extremely knowledgeable. These are all of the things that have made us this successful. We have such a solid support group that we couldn't have done this without them.
Perfect storm. And I'm glad you mentioned the parents, because I don't think parents realize how much of a swing they can be. Like if the parents all just go with the plan, man, it can go really well. And if they don't, then it gets messy and dramatic, and it will torpedo a team in a hurry. Like you have way more power than you realize if you just stay out of the way and just let them do their thing. Yeah, team meals and travel can be as fun as winning. Yeah, absolutely. And love that your coach is smiling at you. That's key. I mean, you got to have that yin and yang. You've got to be able to get up in them when you need to, and then somebody be able to come behind you and pick them back up and be like, hey, it's not personal. She's just upset, and they make a joke.
Yes.
But
it's
been
very,
awesome to
very
watch.
intense and competitive.
Yeah.
So them being like the comedic side.
No doubt. But you guys are,
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Wes.
Yeah, but you guys are headed to Columbia Dreyer High School to face off with a perennial powerhouse in the high school league, the Pickens Blue Flame, who have had many a state championship and many a run to the state championship match in very recent history. So, kind of talk to me about the challenge that is faced in front of you now. One more obstacle standing in your way of a state championship. So how are you approaching it, and what have you seen initially so far as you prepare for this matchup with the Blue Flame?
Yeah. So Pickens is going to be a tough team, right? It's going to be a really good game. They wouldn't have made it this far if they weren't a talented team. So we do certainly expect them to bring everything they've got, and that's exciting. We're really looking forward to having a challenge. We've never come up against Pickens before, so it will certainly be our first time meeting, and I can't think of a better stage for it. I know that they've been on this stage multiple times, and this being our first time, I think the girls will have some jitters going into it, but hopefully they will continue to lean on each other as they have, the second half of the season, and that we'll be able to compete with Pickens at a high level. I'm sure we'll blow a set, because that's what we like to do. Let's be real here. But I do think that it will be a solid challenge, and I know that we are very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's I don't know. How do you prepare your kids for it? How do you even know how to prepare your kids for it when it's like the biggest game they've ever played, the biggest game you've ever coached? I mean, how do you kind of try to you preach to them it's just another game and we're just going to play it like every other game? How do you get them to believe that and actually execute that?
That's a challenge.
That's the trick, right?
Yeah, that's what we're all trying to figure out.
Right.
I've been really focusing on keeping them humble and keeping them grounded and focusing on our game, right? We can only control what happens on our side of the court, and don't sweat the things you can't control, right? So we are very much honing our game and fine-tuning that to make sure that everything that we do on our side of the net is the best of our ability. And if it's enough, that's wonderful. And if it's not, then we gave it everything we have. And that's certainly something to still be very, very satisfied with.
That's all you hope for. Provide yourself with a chance and see how it plays out. And
yes.
I mean, if you give it your best and that's not enough, that ain't on you.
Right. So we have high aspirations. If we can play our game, I think that we'll come out just fine.
I think what has really impressed me, and you kind of alluded to earlier, is the mental side of the game. When things aren't going your way, you find that quick resolve to get back in it and turn the tide of these matches. So, how much has that been a huge factor in just these girls showing that mental toughness in these matches to come through and against some relatively tough opponents in the lower state.
Yeah, that's been a huge part of our success, is the ability to just shake it off and move on to the next one. Volleyball is a game of mistakes, and it's whether you're making a mistake or they are. You're forcing a mistake on one side or the other. And so remembering that okay, you made a mistake. Okay, you've made 2 mistakes. Big deal. Like, move on, and we're not going to spiral and go, oh my gosh, I can't do it. You can do it. You've done it thousands of times. So the next mistake that's made needs to be someone else's, not yours. And that's all you can do. And having that mental toughness to say, okay, so you've aced me twice. Like, bring it again. Let's go for a third. And having that mental tenacity to not shy away from the next ball for fear that you might make a mistake or mess up has been huge. And having the girls buy into that mentality has been a big deal for us.
Yep. Next play, next pitch, next rep, whatever. The last one's over and the next one matters. That's what I always say. But a few comments from our buddy Kevin Libby from
Game runs.
He says his impression is you keep the kids loose. There's no substitute for confidence plus ignorance. I didn't know I could do that. Kids surprised by their ability. And he says volleyball's a game of mistakes. Great coaching. Acceptance is how we move on. Bring it again. Go ahead, Wes.
Yeah, no, I was just a comment. I was listening to some of the broadcasts on Buford Song, which Javon is part of.
Julie Bigger did a great job from Rising Tide. That was a nice addition.
Yeah. Hopefully she'll be on the call again on Saturday for the state title match. But I liked what she said about just about how it's a game of runs and a game of momentum, and how they did such a good job turning that tide and building a run of their own after dropping that first set, and just they were never phased. And so big testament to you as the head coach, and a testament as well for those young ladies for just finding ways to dig in and get the job done. I mean, two tremendous road wins in a row. I mean, just how proud of what they did in back-to-back games against 2 very tough teams in Bishop England and Aiken.
Yeah, monster teams. Those were massive wins, and we obviously needed them, and they knew it going in, but they were able to stay collected and calm. And when we would blow a set, it was very easy to just be like, oh, weird glitch happened. We just erased it from the film. It never happened. Okay, starting over, and just being able to completely reset and not worry about what happened last set, not worry about what happened last point. And every point is a new point. Every point is a new game. And we start over again until we get to 25. And that's the end of it. So just 1 point at a time. And that's how we're going to approach Pickens too. Just 1 point at a time. What happened last time doesn't matter.
Well, and I mean, I don't know if people realize, we've talked about Pickens being a perennial power, and they've won 15 state titles, but most recently in 2014, whereas Bishop England's won a national record 29 titles, most recently last year. So it's not like you guys haven't slain giants already. This is nothing new. You've taken them down twice. So the confidence is off the charts, and there's definitely a belief that you can play with anybody at this point. Because Bishop England is truly a national powerhouse type program over the years. So that's big time, man. I love it. And you have to be loving every minute of it. It's just so much fun.
Absolutely.
Tell me about the excitement of those bus rides and the post-game meals and all that. That has to be pretty special experience.
What'd we do post-game last night?
We went to Moe's.
Oh, very nice.
Moe's.
Yeah,
queso for everyone. Get avocado. It's on the
so we have a rule in playoffs that as long as they win, I buy the post-game meal. So they're eating me out of house and home now. But it's a lot of excitement.
There goes that stipend, coach.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, the bus ride up, everybody's, locked in and they're focused and they're napping and they have headphones on. And then the whole ride back after the win, everybody's real chatty and like laughing. There's no
the music.
sleeping.
Yeah, you're blaring the music then.
TikTok dances in the aisles.
Yeah, they're getting yelled at by bus drivers. Like it's a thing.
Right.
So it very much so is fun to watch them celebrate their win afterwards and really come together because it is a group goal and it was group achieved. And it's been wonderful to watch them.
We win together, we lose together, but it's always better to win together. So anything else, Wes, before we let Coach get going?
Yeah, I mean, just wrapping things up about what this team has accomplished and just the overall journey throughout the last 3 or 4 years for you as an assistant and as a head coach. So, just describe this period of your life and how rewarding it has been to coach these May River Sharks and take them all the way to one win away from the top of the mountain in 4A.
Yeah, it's really come full circle. And it's almost poetic in that I came in when they were freshmen. Yep. And now that they're seniors, now we've made it, right? We've hit that monumental achievement that every team wants to hit. And I got them when they were babies and they were insecure and having 13-year-old mood swings every 10 seconds. And now they're 18-year-old seniors who are confident and smart and intelligent and women and they're killing it. So it's really been rewarding to watch that whole journey from the beginning to the literal end. So I can't think of a better ending. Like, this team is so special to me because they were my inaugural team. So I can't think of a better team to go on this run with than this one right here.
Be kind of their babies. They'll do good for you. That's one of our inside jokes. Started from the bottom, now we're here. There you go. All right, I got one more before I let you go. What's the team's hype song? What's the one that gets them going?
Oh, man.
Gotta build out my playlist.
They have a playlist, and I'm so old that I don't.
You're like, I don't know any of these songs. I Shazammed one off the USCB women's basketball pregame list the other day because I was like, "Ooh, this is a banger!" And I was like, "Siri, what song is this?" And Siri just answered. And now it's on my playlist. It's a banger. Nice. So I thought I might find.
I'm not sure if it's like an inside joke, but they do like a Spotify playlist every year, and I make it clean, right? So we can play it during games and whatnot. And it was all like late 90s, early 2000s songs, which are like my era.
Yeah, like grunge, like grunge and alternative.
I remember when I came in, it was like 2000s era.
The kids are kind of into that though. A lot of the kids are into the. I've even got students who are into like Motley Crue and stuff. Like,
so I can't tell if it's like they're really ironic into it or if it's just some like inside joke that I'm not in on, where they thought, well, let's just pick every song that's like 20 years old and coach will get a kick out of it.
I will say TikTok as a influence because there are songs that trend, which are not just popular songs now; they're popular songs in the 90s, the 2000s. So I think TikTok has had a big influence on wider range of tastes for these kids, but even more so.
There's no question.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. We've been listening to a lot of Eminem. I'm not really sure why.
Interesting. Eminem's making a comeback?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't imagine his lyrics hold up very well in 2024. There was a lot of misogyny.
Well, of course you have the obviously there are a few hits that continue to be staples.
Hi, my name is
right.
Yeah. And like Lose Yourself and all those, but I mean,
Lose Yourself should be on every pregame playlist.
Everyone,
you're definitely doing yourself a disservice if you're not listening to that pregame. That one makes me want to run through a wall. Well, Coach, thanks so much. It was a blast talking with you tonight. It's easy to see why the kids relate to you and play hard for you. And congratulations on building a great program over there. And hopefully this is just the beginning of many great things to come.
That's the plan.
All right. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thanks,
Best of luck
guys.
on Saturday.
Thank you.
Morgan Hedrick, everybody. Great interview. Great fun tonight.
That was
She
fun.
brought the fun. You can definitely see why the
Yeah.
kids are buying in and having fun over there in May River Volleyball. It looks like Max is in the green room. We'll let him join when he's ready. There he is. What's up, buddy?
Hey.
What's going on, man? Good interview with Coach Hedrick. She's fun.
Yeah, what a great coach that May River has over there, and what a coaching staff. I mean, this team has been absolutely amazing to watch. And I watched both the the whole Bishop England game, and the entire Aiken game, and really, you look at where they were during the Bishop England game, going into set 3, they were down 2-1, and we're behind halfway through set 3, and came back to win set 3. Bishop England won set 4 by a mile. They won set 4. And I was like, I don't know if May River's got anything left in the tank to go into this 5th set. And they just came out and got to an early 4-0 lead in the 5th set over Bishop England. And, Bishop England fought their way back into it. And there were times where it was tied, but every time May River would get, ahead by two or 3 points. As that whole 5th set went through, and ended up winning that, going to the lower state finals. And then this time around against Aiken, I mean, they really, I think the entire game the entire match was the better team.
Well, not Aiken. The first set.
Apart from the first set, they got their act together the second and third set, and really played like the far superior team against Aiken. And really, that's a great way to finish off the lower state.
I was worried from what we saw in set 1. They were overwhelmed. I think a lot of it to do with the crowd. And no matter the sport, we talk about when you're on the road, especially in the playoffs, you're trying to take the crowd out of the game. And that was difficult for May River to do at first. But when they found that groove, and obviously credit to that Aiken crowd, even when they were down, those students were still bringing it. So a lot of credit to them. But I think, finding that groove and just kind of negating some momentum that was established earlier and taking a little bit out of that crowd was very important. And then they kind of ran with that the rest of
it. Yeah, I think against Aiken, I think after that first set, I think they kind of figured out, the coaching staff, again, fantastic coaching staff with, for May River, figured out a way where they could find a weakness against Aiken. They found that weakness. They exploited that weakness for the next 2 sets, and really played as the better team. Although there were some good second and third sets between the two teams, it was really fun to watch.
I remember that second set, and it was
that second set was
because Aiken they were up at like 5 or 6, and Aiken cut it to 1, or they tied it, and it was getting a little low. It looked like they were going to drop that second set, and they went down 2-0. It would pretty much be close to lights out. So.
2 fantastic sets by May River to win and move on to the state championship game. And I think, it's kind of a, happy ending going into the state championship, because if we remember, they played Aiken to begin the season all the way back in, what was it, like early
August?
September,
First
late
game.
August or something? Yeah.
First game in mid-August.
And lost to Aiken 2 sets to 1, I think. And so full circle around, finished this time winning 2 sets to 1 to head to the state championship game.
That was before they slayed the Dragon, though. When they slayed Bishop England and their national record, 29 national or state championships, that was a different team after that.
I think people didn't give May River enough credit because everyone thought, Bishop England might be the favorites here. And, we all forgot that, a lot of people forgot that this May River team beat Bishop England during the regular season.
Right.
And
well, I think the thing was, like, when May River beat them, we were like, oh, wow, May River's in position to win the region now. But then they slipped up against Hilton Head, and so Bishop England slid in and won the region. So it was like, man, like that was going to give them the advantage they needed for home court and all that going through the playoffs. So then when they slipped back down, you thought, oh, man, that might do them in. They'll have to beat Bishop England on the road now. But they did it.
They did it on the road against Bishop England. They did it on the road against Aiken, and now they're going to have to do it on the road in Dreher against a very solid PIckens team. So I'm excited to see how Saturday goes. I'm excited, and I'm so happy that Javon's going to be broadcasting that game live on Saturday at Bear High School.
Clarification: it will not be broadcast live because the high school league doesn't allow that. It will be recorded, however, and then there's a 72-hour embargo on the full broadcast, but he'll have highlights out.
Is that a new rule from the high school league?
I don't know. That was the case. No, that was the case when he's done state championships in the past.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because I guess I was
broadcast it live.
Because I was there. I was there when we did the Beaufort state championship win football a couple years ago, and I was on the broadcast. So I guess I didn't realize that they had to wait a certain amount of time. But
so the reason is because the NFL, it will be streamed live though on
because the NFHS has the priorities.
They have the exclusive rights to the streaming. So 72-hour delay for the full game, but the highlights will be released, shortly after the game as usual.
So they can release the highlights.
Yeah, so we'll be able to see the highlights, and we'll be able to. And if you have NFHS network, which is here's the deal, it's like $10 a month, and you can cancel at any time. So you can just pay your $10 and then cancel it. I do it every year.
I mean, it's pretty much.
I do it every year at championship time.
Yeah,
because you pay your $10 now, and you can watch a bunch of playoff football games and all the state championship games.
Yeah,
and then you cancel it after a month, and then you re-up it in February and March for state basketball and wrestling.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of games on there during the regular season too.
Yeah,
it's really a good value.
Not as much here, but other spots
around the
there are.
But I think around the country as well. That's something extremely useful, especially when playoffs come around, because teams like May River, if they win out on Friday night, they'll be on the road for their next game, and who knows where they're going to be. We have an idea of where they may be, but games like where our teams are on the road at schools nowhere near us within the lower state area. Usually NFHS is always great to watch. I've used it a couple times, but it's been a while since I used it. It's
solid.
Yeah, it's a solid tool to use. It's a solid tool to have, especially for us covering games that aren't in the area of the playoffs.
The state wrestling coverage is phenomenal. It is. I mean, they stream every match on every mat, and they've got coaches doing the commentary and stuff. Like, it's really, really solid. Really, really solid. And it's a great value. If you got $10 a month, it's worth it for NFHS network.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you own a sports media company, you get to write it off. So it's even better. Kevin wants to live bet the children. But yeah, he's right about this. I'll stop my sarcasm. JJ always says the biggest game is your game. It's amazing to watch Shizzle. Can you? No, you can't live bet on the NFHS network. That would be great if you.
That would be hilarious. So
only props. Plus or minus. Well, yes, it is a qualified business expense for my accountant.
Yeah. Right. Oh man.
Yeah, so I haven't done any sponsors in a long, long time, and the MVP sponsors are they start with Base Hit Life, our apparel partner. Did you get a hoodie yet? Coming soon. Can't wait to see. He'll be wearing that Calm Your Mitts hoodie as soon as he gets it. But they've got all kinds of cool hoodies, including the Calm Your Mitts that Max has on the way, and other hats and T-shirts. I had on. I got that dog on me last night. That was a Base Hit Life special. Check out Base Hit Life at basehitlife.com and live your best Base Hit Life. We got Homegrown Home Inspections, our official home inspector, best in the Lowco. You got to have them check out that home before you buy it. And if you're building a new home, you got to have the phased inspection where they check on it every step of the way and make sure it's built right with Homegrown Home Inspections. At the end of life, you can call on Hospice Care of the Low Country. They have palliative care, hospice care, free grief counseling, and many other services that they provide. And it's a not-for-profit right here in Southern Beaufort County, Hospice Care of the Low Country, where it's not about dying, it's about living. And the USCB Center for Low Country Hospitality Education. located at that beautiful new campus on Hilton Head Island. And they offer the Island Ambassador Program and the growing Bluffton Ambassador Program, taught by yours truly. So if you want to learn more about the Loco and the community you live in and become an ambassador, you can do it through the USCB Center for Low Country Hospitality Education. Real quickly, too, I'll say the varsity sponsors. DDS Web Design builds, hosts, and maintains websites for businesses and nonprofits. Find them at ddshhi.com. Parker Law Group is who you should call if you have legal needs in Carlton, Hampton, or Jasper County, and they help us shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes out on the Loco frontier. Dr. Ambrose Cole is at Rooted Living Wellness, and he's our official chiropractor. He'll get you feeling right in mind, body, and spirit. And if you're a wrestler who wants to take your skills on the mat to the next level this year, get over to Reverence Wrestling Club in Bluffton, world-class facility, official wrestling sponsor of LowcoSports, and presenting sponsor of the Loco Grind. So with all that, I will take a breath. What's up, boys?
I will say my hoodie is hopefully coming in tomorrow, so I will debut it on our Loco Pigskin preview tomorrow night, which should be fun to do. Hopefully,
nice.
More than likely, Marcus Walsh will be on with us tomorrow night.
Yes, indeed. I would assume so. We'll be on our way back. The game should be over by 8, but we'll be just back from a night in the Cove.
And Shark Hoops.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, that's tomorrow night.
Lady Hoops.
Me and Robbie. I might have to come and hang out tomorrow night. Watch some Sand Shark basketball because I didn't go to a game last year, so I need to get out.
You got to get to the Cove. Gotta get to the Cove.
I showed up for the final couple seconds of the final home game for men's basketball, and then I did the the girls state championship game.
Because we did.
That's right.
I was on the call with you for Buford's Own. Yep.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yep.
So
I remember that.
Yeah, my first ever broadcasting gig too. So
that's right. You were thrown into the fire that night.
Yeah, that was the first.
Literally, me and Justin met up at Starbucks out by.
That was my first time working with Max. I didn't really know. I don't know if I've ever worked with I've seen Max.
No. I mean, we met a few days before, and I was and then Javon was like, "You got anybody who wants to?"
The day me and Justin met. The day me and Justin met to talk about LowcoSports, literally about 2 hours later, I get a text from Justin saying, "Hey, do you want to do a broadcast gig for a state championship game?" And I was like, "Who is it?"
That was me and Javon tag teaming, baby. He was like, "Hey, you got anybody who wants to broadcast this state championship game?" That was a lot of fun,
though. We had a technical. We only did the
we had some technical problems, but it was fun. Good Lord, was it loud in there too? I couldn't hear myself.
It was raucous.
It was crazy in there. Trying to do interviews on the microphone with each coach was always fun to do. Oh my gosh.
It was so loud in there, bro. It was way louder than even it gets for the USCB.
I was so happy that they had that game over at the Cove. Because I'd rather not drive all the way out to Sumter just for
Sumter
it
Civic
was.
Center. No, that's.
I'd rather never. If I could never go there again, I'd be a happy man. I don't need to go to that place.
Yeah. But I will say,
I just mean Sumter in general, not the Civic Center. I will say
my Calm Your Mitts hoodie will be here hopefully tomorrow, so I will be wearing that.
Your hoodie to the max.
Man, hoodie to the max.
Well, we did have some signing days today.
Yes, we did. I forgot about that.
Signings day. Signing days.
One of those fall signing days.
Signings day, like attorneys general. So I was going to try to pull up the coverage from the schools because I work at a school in the day now, so I don't get to go to these things anymore like I used to. That was fun. I love going to signing days because it's just such a happy occasion. But here's the May River signings. Tim Alonso was there because his brother was signing. Tyson Brasington and Trace Mishik both headed to Anderson to play baseball. Michaela Landry and Mary Grace Murdoch to Belmont Abbey for softball. Got another Belmont Abbey with Lauren Swanson going there for volleyball. Aubrey Davis to Mars Hill for lacrosse. Stella Pelger to Lenore Ryan for swimming.
Nice.
Ava Kendrick to Moorhead State for cheer. Nick Alonso to Young Harris for cross country and track. Claire Green to Clemson for golf, and Robin Zetrauer to St. Francis for golf.
And Lauren Swanson too for
I said her. I went out of order for her when I said the Belmont Abbey
Oh, okay. Sweet.
I mixed her in with the Belmont Abbeys.
Where's the Alonzo? Come on, give me Nick.
They're coming.
Yeah,
they're coming.
Great
They're
pictures.
coming. Yeah, I know. I think Misa got all these photos.
There we go, Misa. Attaboy.
Yeah. Because Tim was going to do it, but he was kind of locked in.
There we go.
To his family table. There we go.
Yeah.
Big Nick.
Timmy. Yeah. Fantastic. Great family there. Just terrific.
Great decorations. I love the decorations for the
no doubt.
That's really
Tim
cool.
also wrote the May River Bluffton recap for the Bluffton Sun this week, so he's published this week. So I gave it a little edit, made him look good. That's how we do it.
Yes.
So there you go. There's all the signees with Sammy the Shark.
Hey, Sammy
Gotta love
the
it. Sammy's kind of photo bombing.
All
right, so there's your May River signees.
I'll tell you
I know
though,
we got more.
That's a heck of
Anderson
a
University, man.
class.
When it comes to baseball, Anderson University picks up some players around here. They picked up a few last year from this area, and they've picked up 2 more this year. So these last couple of recruiting cycles, Anderson loves some of the baseball players down here. And apparently,
all right, we got more signings at Buford High School. We had 2 signings. Selena Duncan is going to Longwood to play D1 soccer. She's still got another year left. That's going to be fun in the spring. She's phenomenal. And Susan Cushman, who is part of those record-breaking relay teams for the Buford swim team, going to VMI. So D1 swimmer and a D1 soccer player at Buford. And I'll get you photos going here. There's Selena signing to play soccer at Longwood. She's phenomenal. We had her on the Loco FC or one of the shows last year. And then Susan Cushman, we loved her brother Hart as well. Great football player at Buford High, part of that state championship team. He was the center, went on to Erskine, and she's been phenomenal in the pool. So congrats to those 2 as well. I think there was one other signing. It was at Hilton Head Christian Academy.
All right.
And I've got some reporting on that as well. Yeah. Let's see. They don't have. Yeah, there we go. 2 seniors, golfers signing today. JP Reed going to Southern Wesleyan up the road, D2 up around Clemson, and Gabe Schmitz going to West Virginia, where he'll team up with Max Green, another HHCA Eagle. So very cool.
Yes.
There's the golfers.
Yeah, 2. Another 2 really
a lot of tremendous golfers. Claire Bear is a truer who was the hero of the state championship run this last season.
Man, look at that. That crew is looking ready to go for their state title run coming here.
Yeah. And the guys as well.
It's crazy as they may run away with the state titles this year because they don't have to deal with
prep.
It
should be very strong.
Yeah, they don't have to deal with prep though. Prep's not in 4A.
Right.
Well, is that how is that what golf is too?
Yes, I believe for Christian Academy they're playing 4A golf.
And
I'm totally fine with actually. I want to see them.
Yeah, I think they might all be in the same classification for golf. I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's so weird with skis. I don't understand it sometimes.
Yes, I agree. Claire Bear is great. Her appearances in the show gave me a rooting interest. She's great on the show, and her best contribution ever to the show was when she sent me the video of Wes running on the sideline at the soccer game.
Yeah.
When we got to see how hard Wes was working to get them highlights, that was her best contribution ever. But signing day always special. Congrats to all those kids who have won the race. They finished the race. They're going on to the next level. Whatever happens from here, you've really set your mind to something and accomplished something great and earned an opportunity, and you deserve the accolades. And I'm glad that everybody gets the opportunity to have that day with their coaches and their families and everybody who made it possible. It's amazing. Real recognizes real. Claire celebrates work. Facts.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Shall we wind it down?
Yeah.
We got plenty of football to talk about tomorrow. We can save that for tomorrow. We've got the Loco Booster Club that supports us, so please support them if you're able. Court Lifestyle Pros, Daniel and Debbie Court with Charter One Realty. Let them bring you home to Hilton Head Island. Eagle Creations, go check out their promotional items, custom apparel, and custom gifts over at their shop on Argent Boulevard and see what they can do for you. Jay's Barber Shop is the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Go in for the conversation and come out looking stylish at Jay's Barber Shop. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. Get your floors so clean, your feet will thank you. Hudson's Seafood House on the docks. New episode of Under the Bus presented by Hudson's out tonight. Great show tonight with the boys.
Yeah,
they were on fire tonight. Especially a good show. They were really funny tonight. And Hurricane Sports Cafe. If you're out in Hampton and you want something to eat or drink, check out Hurricanes. I'm going to share a little review for Hurricanes because I saw this posted today. And I thought, well, that's spot on right there. Let me see if I can find it. It's worth looking up. Because I thought it was spot on. I think you'll agree. Well, I say it's worth looking up. Yeah. Hey, neighbors, I have a good report to share with y'all. Many times I've heard people say that Hurricane Sports Cafe is a good restaurant. I haven't had the opportunity to go there to check it out until today. That's where I went for lunch, and it was so nice. I decided to try their wings, and then they were delicious. Had their wings with the Hurricane Hot Barbecue sauce. Strong recommend. Great on a burger as well. Coleslaw and onion rings, some of the best wings I've ever had, and it was a very friendly place and had a great atmosphere. And then he goes on to tell you even more great things about Hurricane Sports Cafe, but I would be beating a dead horse if I did all that because it's great. We already told you. Hurricane Burger's a banger. Wings is good. Bird dogs, if you're into that. They got all kind of good stuff. So, all right, that's our sponsors. Time for parting thoughts. What do you got, boys?
Well, I thought I'd do my uniforms of the week tonight.
Okay, I dig it.
I'm going to start with this one. Northwestern, they got Ohio State on Saturday.
Northwestern got a good color scheme.
Well, this is their Gothic black uniforms. And I've seen them wear these a few times, and they're always really cool to look at. Yeah.
Those are nice.
Yeah, look
those
at
have
those.
a very Renaissance fair quality to them.
Yeah.
Knights of the Round Table.
And
those are nice.
I thought these are cool. But what's even cooler about these, not just these uniforms, but where they're playing on
Soldier Field or Wrigley Field? Yeah.
They're playing at Wrigley against the Buckeyes on Saturday. They're going to be playing at Wrigley Field.
Wow, so they took out some seats.
Yeah, I kind of had to.
Squeeze it in there. Yeah, no, I was just curious how they squeeze it in there.
But they're going to be playing there, and hopefully it'll be a packed-out game, being Ohio State. And all.
Should be.
Yeah,
I mean,
I have
Wrigley
a feeling
only holds like 35,000, right?
They're playing here is part of it is not only is it going to be cool to have Ohio State playing at Wrigley Field, but it's also the fact that they're playing on a temporary field right now for most of their football games.
Right, because they're building that amazing.
They're building a new stadium, and they're playing on that field, their training field, basically out by the lake.
Right.
So I thought that was cool. And then my other uniform, Michigan State, going a little back to the roots with the cartoonish looking Spartan helmet. I don't know if y'all can see that. Yeah, cartoonish Spartan helmet.
Other arm. I have the cartoon Truman the Tiger tattooed on me.
There's a good one.
For Truman, my son.
Look at that.
That's dope.
That's sick. I thought those were cool.
I like that a lot.
I love their new helmets because they have this pattern on the front, if you can see it here. And I always thought that's a really cool looking pattern on the middle going around from the front to the back of the helmet. So yeah, those are my uniforms.
Their team kind of sucks.
Huh? Yeah,
too bad their team kind of sucks.
That's very true. Although Michigan's not much better. So
where Magic Johnson is like noise.
Yeah, those are cool helmets. I thought those were really cool. So those are my uniforms.
If you didn't read that noise in Jordan Peele voice, I don't even know you anymore. The Truman the Tiger tat. Yeah, I mean, my son's name is Truman. I graduated from Mizzou, where Truman is the mascot, and that's the
God,
old,
I
the
love
old
those like
comic
cartoonish.
style.
Yeah, I love those
It
cartoonish
was
old
it was
school
put on me by
like
the great gnarly Gav, aka Gavin Daly, of the Daly family, famed Jebin Daly, Low Country Boy, all that. Gnarly Gav is known worldwide, coast to coast, L.A., New York. He was in town. He did two for me, one for Truman, and I got a Shark fan for Finley. But
I want to see one Saturday where every college team wears like those cartoonish, mascot faces from like back in the day, like old school, like on the side of the helmets or on their jerseys or something like that. I would love to see that from any and every college. Like Clemson, like back in the day, didn't have the paw; they had the big C on the side of the helmet. I would love to see that come back for a football game or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Mizzou still has the block and helmets that we roll out every now and then.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah,
they're nice.
Those are cool.
Yeah, those are nice.
So yeah,
Wes, you got a parting thought?
We may have glossed over this earlier today or another day, but we talked about signing day happening at May River, but we also had a recent commitment on the baseball field. That's Aaron Guthrie, who will be attending Columbia International to become a Ram. So yeah, just wanted to shout him out and the tremendous career that he has had so far, and just that guy has been a gamer out there. He's been working hard to get to the spot that he is now, and you love to see the opportunity for him and a program he can have a great chance to make an impact. So I wanted to give out a shout out to Aaron, and what a fall it has been and continues to be so far for the May River Sharks. We talked about that golf team winning a state title. Volleyball right now is on the side about if you're a Shark fan. We've talked about them a lot this fall.
Wes, Libby giving you your props, top notch. Every contribution was fire. Also, I just saw this just now in the baseball commits.
Breaking news
development. I'll piggyback on you with Jackson Stanyard from Hilton Head Prep committing to Rhodes College.
That's right.
Rhodes College, big brain on that one.
Well, the other one was Bird, Slade Bird.
Little Bird, yeah.
Committed to Georgia Southern, I believe.
Yeah. I think we
discussed play baseball for future commitment. So a lot of great commitments for baseball as of late, and I'm excited because Slade Bird's going into, I believe, is it his junior year? I think it's his junior year. Slade's going into his junior year. Stanyard's going into his senior year. Stanyard, I can't wait to see Stanyard get back on the mound.
He's good behind the dish too.
He is good behind the dish. So, a lot more commitments ahead too. We got a lot more athletes that are going to be committing here in the next few months or so. So I'm excited to see where all of them end up going to play at the next level.
I got a couple wrestling. I'm going to have a funny one to contribute here in a second, but I got a couple wrestling things here. The openmat.com does rankings, individual rankings at weight classes for each level. Former May River star Isham Peace won a state title for the Sharks before moving back somewhere else. He finished sixth, or he's ranked sixth in his weight in D2. He's wrestling for Lander. And I saw that after her upset of number 4 last week, Zeo Estrada has jumped up to number 4 in the nation in NAIA in her weight class. So a couple Lowco wrestlers doing big things. And then I picked up on this from under the bus. But I don't know if you caught that LSU, for the first time since 2015, had a live tiger at the game on the sidelines.
Oh, really?
Yep. And these are just a few of the headlines that have emerged after that. Okay. One of them says, owner of LSU's guest tiger, Omar Bradley, that's the name of the tiger, keeps mum on who paid for Big Cat's appearance. And then there was another one that said, LSU criticized after bringing caged live tiger into stadium before defeat of Alabama. And then you have PETA files complaint with Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries in response to live tiger at LSU game. Then you have Florida man providing tiger for LSU game has history of animal abuse, USDA citations. Shock. And then you have the real kicker. This one, well, actually two real kickers. One is governor says LSU's only live tiger error was losing in front of him. And then LSU student accused of threatening to kill Governor Landry over live tiger appearance. So they have brought all kinds of chaos with this tiger. I don't know how you could think that there's a broker out there that will provide a live tiger for your football game that is reputable and has not committed some kind of animal abuse.
I don't think I like the idea of having a live tiger on the field. It's like from, back in the 70s and 80s when they had a live tiger. I'm guessing
one person who was really not in favor of that was probably the university's risk manager.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a good point. But what a great game to return it to, getting absolutely blown out by an Alabama team that should have been a closer game.
Oh, that one killed me. Governor says only mistake was losing in front of him.
That's so. I don't know.
That one blew me.
The fact that boys, is funny.
I think we can call it a night and let the people go to bed. But thanks so much to Coach Morgan Hedrick for jumping on with us. She's done a phenomenal job at May River this year and was a terrific interview. And she's already said she'll come back on anytime because I told her you were fun. We should have had you on a long time ago. So she's happy to hop on anytime. And got it from Carol Baskin. There's obviously Carol Baskin and Joe Tiger are the two that everybody would know not to get a tiger from. It's probably the third. Can
you imagine how pumped Ed Orgeron would have been if they had a live tiger on the field? It'd be like, yeah, go Tigers,
go Tigers, go Tigers. But thanks to Coach Hedrick. She was awesome. We'll definitely have her on again. Hopefully, like Monday after winning a state championship. That would be terrific. And thanks to all of our sponsors, especially Mickelson Law Firm. The OG's been around since the beginning and supporting us every step of the way. And thanks to all of you who showed up to listen or watch, especially our boys Javon and Kevin jumping in the comments all the time, keeping us entertained. We appreciate y'all. We'll be back tomorrow night. It'll be Lowco Pigskin preview night, straight up. No chaser, all football all the time, and we'll have Marcus Walsh come in here with us.
USC basketball.
Well, that's true. We'll talk about the hoops. Good point. But we'll see you then. For Max Araj and Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Loco.
The Loco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Loco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go